Welcome to this video on direct and inverse variation. This is lesson 5 in unit 1C of AP Precalculus, and we are going to create appropriate mathematical models when they tell us a relationship between variables, saying they are directly related or they are inversely varying from each other. Once we have an equation, you'll have to be able to solve linear and rational equations, so just keep that in mind. Okay, let's talk about models, variation models. Direct variation, or directly proportional, describes a situation in which as the input quantity increases or decreases, the output quantity does the same, and it will be multiplied by a constant of variation, and we use k of x. Here is the equation that when they say they vary directly, this is what you write down: y equals k of x. Now these questions and prompts usually have context to them, so you'll have variables where your output will be something, I don't know, like let's say height, like height of a tree, and where your input is usually something like time, so time in years, right? So that would be like h equals kt. But that is the model that you go ahead and initially start your question with. Inverse variation is where we have variables that are inversely proportional. Describes a situation in which as the input or quantity increases or decreases, the output quantity does the opposite. Inversely proportional is another way to describe inverse variation. The general model for inverse variation is rational. It's y equals k over x, where k is, again, the constant of variation. So k is in your numerator, your independent variable, your input, is in the denominator, so k over x. Okay, so one is k times x, one is k divided by x. Pretty simple to remember. Let's go ahead and check out an example. Micah's birthday is coming up, and a group of her friends plan to buy her a gift. The cost of the gift per person, C, is inversely proportional to the number of friends, F, buying a gift. When 5 friends buy the gift, the cost per person is $42. So first of all, I want to talk about the model. They say write an equation C of F that represents this situation. So the cost, when they say the cost is inversely proportional to the number of friends, it's going to be the cost is equal to K divided by F. So here is your equation. They say C of F, so if they want it in function notation, C of F looks like this. It's just saying I'm plugging in F into this, okay? Now, they do say here when 5 friends buy the gift, the cost is $42. So they're going to go ahead and give you information. So step 2 would be to plug in this information, right? So they say F equals 5, C equals 42. And so we can set up an equation. 42 equals K over 5. Now, why is this important, or why is this useful? Well, they essentially give you the information in order to solve for K, your constant of variation. I can go ahead and multiply both sides by 5. Cancel here, and we can solve for K. So K, I believe, is 210. Okay? And so I guess here would be your new equation. So if they really want your equation, C is equal to 210 over F. I guess the gift is $210. And then if you have more friends, right, contributing, be like, hey, do you want to go in on this gift? Contribute money. So you divide by the number of friends, right? So the more people you get, the cost goes down. So here they're saying B. Then they give an additional question, usually right after the prompt. So this is kind of broken down. B, if 8 friends buy the gift, what is the cost per person? So now, what is the cost if we have 8 people going in on this gift? So 210 divided by 8. Oh man, what do we got here? 210 divided by 8. Not the other way around. 20-something dollars. What do we get? 16, you get a 5, get a 0, 8 goes into that, what do we got? 6 times, so we get 48, minus 2, 2, 0, does this just repeat? 0.2, 16, I get a 4, a 0, that goes in what, 5 times? No, $26.25, right? I just had to refresh my division there. So, and let's see, is that what they got here? Yes, 26.25. So it'd be 26 $12.25 per person. Okay, C. If the cost per person is $12.35, how many friends are buying the gift? So now they give you cost. Okay, well, cost is $12.35. Well, that's 210 divided by F. So how I go ahead and solve this is I'm going to multiply both sides by F. Multiply by F. These cancel. And then we have 12.35F is equal to 210. So then we divide now by 12.35. Divide by 12.35. And that will tell you how many friends are going in on this one. And so for this one, I'm going to use technology. 210 divided by 12.35. And we get about 17 friends. 17 friends. Okay. All right. There you go. All right, let's look at one that's not broken down for us, where they just give the whole question. Example, the intensity of light, I, in lux from a particular lamp is inversely proportional to the square of the distance in meters d of an object from the lamp. If the intensity of the light is 7 lux when the distance of an object from the lamp is 2 meters, what is the intensity of the light when the object is 3.2 meters from the lamp? Wow. So they gave a lot of information here. So step 1 should be identifying what is my general equation look like. So they give intensity of light, they say I, and it's inversely proportional to the square of the distance. So that right away, I want to make sure we practice this. I is equal to, if it's inversely, it's K over whatever it's inversely proportional to. So square of distance. So that's going to be D squared. So there is your equation set up. Step 2, you're going to go ahead and you're going to plug in the given. Use givens. So what did they tell us? They said if the intensity of the lamp is 7 lux when the distance of the object is 2 meters, okay? So we get 7 is equal to K over 2 squared, 2 meters. So what this does is this helps us identify what K is. So we can use it to answer our question. Okay, and so if I multiply by 4, we get K is equal to 28. All right, so here is the equation ready to use. The intensity of the lamp is 28 divided by the square of the distance. So then here's their final question. This is their final question. What is the intensity of the light when the object is 3.2 meters from the lamp? Okay, so here's the question. I, that's what I want to find, is equal to 28 over 3.2 squared. And so we're going to use graphing technology for this. 28 divided by 3.2 squared. And we get the intensity of the light is 2.734 lux. Okay, there you go. All right. I want you to go ahead, please pause this video. I want you to try this. This question says the price per pound P of a particular commodity is inversely proportional to the quantity demanded. And then they give a question here. If the price per pound is $4 when 2,000 pounds are being demanded, what is the equation model P of Q for this relationship? So here, set up your general equation, and then go ahead, use the givens to solve for K, and then write your new equation, okay? So kind of like steps 1 through 3, I guess, would be here. Regular equation, solve for K using the givens, and then write your new equation. All right, go ahead, pause me now, try that. Okay, hopefully you got P equals K over Q, and we substitute in the given information. $4 is equal to K divided by the quantity, which here it's 2,000. So we can solve for K, multiply both sides by 2,000, you get 8,000. So here is your equation. The price is equal to 8,000 divided by the quantity. Or if they really want function notation, you can write P of Q. P of Q. All right, B. What is the price per pound when 5,000 pounds of the commodity are being demanded? Go ahead, pause me, try this one. Okay, hopefully you went ahead and you just plugged in 5,000, and we got some zeros here that cancel, so you get 8/5, and this is going to be equal to 1.6. 1.6, if I did that right. 3/5. I think that's 0.6. Okay, and this is $1.6. Okay, so more pounds, price goes down. That's why it's cheaper to buy in bulk. That's why Costco's got it going on. Okay, C. If the price per pound is $2.50, how many pounds of the commodity are being demanded? Go ahead, pause me. Answer this one. Okay, for C, we went ahead and plugged in 2.5 for the price per pound. That's equal to 8,000 over the quantity. We can multiply by Q, and we get 2.5 Q is equal to 8,000. We divide both sides by 2.5 to isolate your Q, and the quantity is 8,000 divided by 2.5, which is 3,200, and this is in pounds. In pounds. How did you do? Hopefully you did pretty good. Okay, next question here. They say the refund R that you get from recycling aluminum cans varies directly to the pounds of aluminum recycled. At a certain recycling center, a person who recycles 18 pounds of aluminum gets a refund of $8.82. What is the equation model R of P for this situation? So again, I have to set up an equation. R is equal to, the refund is directly proportional to the amount of pounds. So it's going to be R equals KP, so K times P. And again, they give us some information. They say if your refund is $8.82 if you have 18 pounds. So I'm going to go ahead and solve for K. I'm going to divide both sides by 18. And we can go here. And so we get 882 divided by 18. And we get 49 cents. 0.49 is your constant of variation. So you get 49 cents per pound. So here is your model. So the refund based upon the pound is 0.49 times the amount of pound. So here they say if the refund is 2019, how many pounds of aluminum were recycled? Well, my refund is $20.19. That's my R value. That's not P. So I'm not plugging in for P. Oftentimes that's the most difficult part of this lesson, is using the information and representing it with the right variable. So we get 0.49 P, and we're solving for P. So I'm going to divide both sides by 0.49. 0.49. This cancels. And we get P is equal to, we'll go to a calculator, 20.19 divided by 0.49. And we get 41 pounds, 0.204. Okay, perfect. So 41.204 pounds of aluminum is your answer. So that's direct variation. So notice the difference. We just multiply K times the variable rather than dividing it. All right, last practice problem here. Go ahead, please pause me and try A. They say the current in amperes of an electrical circuit is directly proportional to the voltage, V in volts. When 12 volts are applied, the current is 19.2 amperes. So what is the equation model I of V for the situation? Pause me. Try here. Okay, first, hopefully you went ahead and set up a direct variation model. I is equal to KV. You went ahead, secondly, and used the given information. If your amperes is 19.2 and your volts is 12, you can solve for K, divide both sides by 12. You get 1.6 is your constant variation for this model. So this is our equation. I of V, dependent upon V, is equal to 1.6 V. They say here in B, if the voltage of a circuit is 30 volts, what is the current of the circuit? Okay, so go ahead, pause me, figure out this, and I'll show you the answer. Did you get 48 amps? That's the answer. You just plug in 30. 1.6 times 30 gives you 48 amps. All right, hey, that's going to do it for this video. In this video, we talked about direct variation models and inverse variation. If they say some things are directly variated, you multiply K times the input. Inversely variated, you take K and you divide by the input for your initial model. If you learned something from this video, give a thumbs up. I'll catch you in the next lesson. See ya.